start with the 3 statements that you.
So what our data tell us?
Yes. What did
So-
your data tell you?
We know that we have 73% have high blood pressure. We know that DOH is 36% has a high BMI. And our HDL ratio was 50% higher than we anticipated.
And we also had a higher number of males that participated, so that was kind of exciting, because compared to the state average, we had a higher percentage of males.
Because it looked like you guys had 340 males that participated, and we had 140.
Oh my.
So,
Is that $50?
and we know, yeah, and we know that a third of our population is male. So really, we had high percentage of males.
How'd you get?
Yeah, you know why?
Yes, we.
We offered the $50 incentive for everybody that participated.
And if you look at DOH's participation rate, they're the highest. And that, so they're limited.
But I also think that we really targeted men, and we really topped it up. And
Was this a gift certificate to Hooters or something?
Yeah.
Just a gift card, Visa gift card, we did Visa gift card.
But we have had a lot of men that actually have signed up for the CTLL, so that was no incentive for that, so they are taking that on their own.
Okay. So the next question is, what are you going to accomplish? How did you sort of arrange your thinking around that data that you observed?
Well, we want to increase the number of employees to meet the recommendations for physical activity. We know that if you can get people moving, you're going to work on a lot of other health issues. Blood pressure, cholesterol, morale, depression. So if we can get our employees moving. Kyle happens to be part of our senior or management. So really we want to get the layer of managers to be more supportive of policies around flex schedule or just policies around really encouraging your employees to be physically active. Whether it's encouraging them to take their 15-minute break. We actually have a manager that really works closely with his employees, and he encourages and checks on them. He will say, did you take your 15-minute break? He's always concerned about their water consumption. Are you drinking enough water? So we need more of managers like that.
And with that piece also, we want to have a performance accountability for managers. So we're not exactly sure what that looks like now, but somehow, some kind of tracking mechanism to make sure that they recognize the stressors in their employees, make sure that their employees are taking their breaks, make sure that their employees do feel in a supportive environment to do physical activity work.
So that's part of what you just said is some of the intervention. You have other things that were the intervention.
The other intervention that we really want to encourage more of the walking breaks. And so that will be next on our changes, what we want to, what changes will you make to achieve success or what interventions? We know that we really want to target the group of employees that may not participate in some of these physical activity contests, because there's a whole bunch of people that won't do it because they know they're not the ones that are going to win, they can't get the most steps. And we really talked about
a communication strategy to promote the accountability for managers. And really to create awareness, really show the way we're structured, we've got about 5 different levels of managers. And so we target a lot of the senior management and the program managers, but there's management levels in between that we find that are not getting the communication. So we need to work on how can we hold the managers that are getting the information accountable to that they're sharing it with their employees or down the chain. So that's really important to us because once we go and launch our interventions and what our biometrics data was, are they going to share it with their employees or are they just going to hold it internally and not do anything with it? So we need to figure out how to track that.
And we want all divisions of DOH to be in an environment that supports wellness, encourages physical activity, maybe has flex time. So we want it to be across the board, all the divisions get to have the same opportunities. And lastly, how will we know if we're successful? Based on surveys, we are just in the process of surveying our employees now. We're going to ask them all kinds of questions. Do you feel supported? Do you feel like you could be physically active? What are some of the challenges? So in 6 months, a year, we want to do a post survey to see if we've made any changes. We know that's real
more in the key form interviews.
that we're doing today. And then this is what I really wanted to talk about, was just the walking groups. We think that's important, that we want to get more people involved in some walking groups, and
Posted on our intranet, so we have like at 10 o'clock, at 10:20, 11 o'clock, 11:40. So we could link it with our intranet so they could actually sign up for the group. They can click on it and they'll be able to sign up for walking time.
and maybe do a little session on how to do an effective walking meeting. How can we have a walking meeting that's effective? You know, sometimes when you're out in a walking meeting, maybe you don't have the opportunity to take notes. We had, an idea was to maybe map out some areas where people then could maybe sit down and take some notes, or maybe do some kind of recorders, so you can record what you're talking about.
So, how on your walking thing, how will you know you're successful?
I think just having more people participate in walking meetings,
Participation.
and then have the culture that it's okay, because still in some divisions, it's not accepted that a walking meeting is actually going to be an effective, productive meeting.
I think it's going to be really crucial too is having management participate in the walking meetings. It's great for us to participate in it, but we need management to participate in walking meetings.
What do you do about employees that are not able to participate in something vigorous like that?
I mean, like the walking meetings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's when we want to do these key interviews to see, you know, where are our gaps? Where are we missing for employees like that that might not be involved? They might then be able to come to something for a big luncheon, or, you know, what is the barrier for them? Maybe that's a whole core group of employees that we haven't even thought about.
With our HR data, we did find a list of staff that do have disabilities, and we got that. So maybe it's doing the key informant interviews with them. What would help them feel like they're successful?
Would they participate in maybe a chair exercise program?
Two things when we can ask the question of what could you do to scale this down and test it out in a smaller way. You actually had two things I thought that would lend itself to testing very quickly. One was testing with that level of managers, because you can actually test with one or two managers. How is that going to be effective? And the other one was the walking meetings, testing. It sounded like there are a lot of tests involved in the walking meetings.